Okay, so first thing we'll look at, obviously, setup-wise for me, very, very good. Grip pressure, I think, is something we all need to try and loosen up anyway, and to try and take that tension out of the body. You said to yourself, you try to keep the left arm straight. If someone says to you, keep that arm straight, you're going to lock it as hard as you bloody well can to ensure it will not bend. Okay, and as a result of that, when the club was going back on the left-hand side, trying to keep that left arm straight, your lower half now was having to move more than it needed to help the hips turn, to help the shoulders get anywhere near horizontal with that club. Your shoulders, as we said, are coming through. I mean, that's 130, 140 degrees, a lot of shoulder turn. You watch golf on TV, even the big hitters are only going sort of between there, I guess, 110, 115 at most, but they're resisting their lower half to about 30 degrees. So the bigger their shoulders and the less the hips, and the more sort of coil they create, and the more snap they get through. So your backswing was very long, a little out of balance there, out of control. If you just looked at you could do that, just that there, and just with the club face. Oh, it's a great position with the club face, top of the backswing, he's got the club face, lovely. But if you then just saw that, he's lost.
To be honest, it's the first time I've ever seen myself in video. I don't even know I did that.
And in some ways, people don't often realise what they look like, and it can have generally a positive effect. Some guys go, oh my god, I look horrendous, and I think, well, hang on a second, it's nowhere near as bad as people sort of make it out. But if we look at the right hand one now, the only conscious thought now was to try and lower resist the lower half and allow the arm to go where it wants to go. And you look at that position there now. That is the change from there. That's 100-degree shoulder turn. He's stable, and you've got to that mythical horizontal position everyone tries to get to, and your arm isn't bending, but just based on your tricep or your bicep and your forearm, that is not a straight arm, is it?
No.
But that doesn't matter. That's not an arm you go, oh my god, it's really bent, because it's basically bending rather than hinging. That a hinging arm is definitely a no-no. And I've got guys who come for lessons, obviously hinge it like a 90-degree angle. That's a bit of a no-no. To be honest, there are some guys I teach who maybe older and got no stability, no sort of suppleness. I'll encourage that to get the longer backswing, but you're at a stage where that's not necessarily an issue. Okay, so but you can see there now when you swing the golf club to the top of the backswing, you're able to rotate now, and the club can get to where you want to get to. So you're not losing power there, and it looks a lot more stable just with that move there in comparison to kind of that knee's going there. I mean, it looks like a sort of walk up there, just go and you fall over. Where that looks as though in a position where, hang on, he's pretty solid there. That's going to be a good shot. So from there now being loose, as you come back to the golf ball now. Good strike of the golf ball. From here now, we'd hope then long term that left arm, and that is actually coming over more in comparison to there. So your left arm now is kind of softening. So if we do that, you see me there, you go. So if you just look at the sort of daylight in there, your glove is still visible. This elbow is kind of doing that. This arm is doing that. So you're getting a softer left arm, which enables the club now to be more here. Hence you're on. If you're this way, you sort of change the direction your hand's going to go, which then changes the club face. So getting that club face now to sort of basically set and release a bit better. At this point now, what we're going to try and see is what the club also is the club more kind of up here as the arm, that sort of reverse L position. Well, your club doesn't start going to a 90-degree hinge with your wrist until about maybe there, a little bit delayed. With this one here now, it's kind of a bit more there, you see. So it's still later than ideal, but if we think on the timeline where the club is, it's not here, it's up there, and eventually in time it'll be sort of here. So you're moving it kind of round to where it wants to go, and that again will just increase. Do a lot of things. One, it'll increase the efficiency of your swing. You hit the ball further with less effort. You better square the club face up with less effort, and by using less energy in the golf shot, by the time you get around to holes 14, 15, 16, you're not going to be like, oh no. And you've got a full tank to kind of finish the round off. And that for me is the key thing. Okay, so I mean, at the moment now, I would say for the next couple of sessions or a couple of practice sessions you do, a couple of games of golf, I would then work on that left arm and that lower half. Next lesson we'll go on the golf course, we'll play 3-4 holes and just see, can you transfer that swing to the golf course? What you generally find, if you think of a sort of timeline here, and you're kind of here, at the moment you're kind of, this is your swing now, position A, and we want to try and get to sort of somewhere down here. So the transformation is now here on the range. Okay, we'll see that. When you're on the golf course, it goes back to here somewhere. Then you practice, it goes to here again. On the golf course, it goes to there. And you just sort of go in between each time, because it's just that comfort zone. This still feels to you the most natural swing. And when you're on the golf course, the mindset becomes, well, if it's going to go bad, I'd rather feel comfortable going bad than feel uncomfortable going bad. It's human nature, okay? So it's just taking that time to sort of get on the golf course, and if needs be, when you're going to play a few holes, chuck a few balls down the tee, just hit a few drivers off tee, and no one's about, it's fine. 3 or 4 drives on the 18 or Mac or something, or take the back, or whether it's a quiet cool of evening kind of thing, and we can get out and we can have a look at that, so we can then transfer the good swing you're doing here now and the golf course. Okay, does that make sense?
Yeah.
Any kind of questions with that, of course? Kind of make sense. I mean, just for your my bit, I suppose. In terms of what you're going to think about going away now, in as simplistic and smaller term as possible, what are the sort of things you're going to think about now when you play golf? Literally in bullet points, 2 or 3 words, I'd say.
My leading arm doesn't need to be straight.
Just softer lower left arm, and
my knee doesn't need to come in so
perfect,
far.
that's fine. And that is the best way of doing it, okay? It doesn't need to be a description. It's like War and Peace on the golf course. So my left knee's got it's okay. Quiet left leg, soft left arm.
Yeah.
Literally doing 5-6 words. If you're on the golf course, it's sort of a sentence to think about kind of thing, rather than the whole thing running back to front, all the things you think about. It's a lot easier to do that, so you can still allow yourself to be on the golf course thinking like a golfer, as you said, picking your spots, picking your targets, and then go to the different things that way.
That's right.
Okay, excellent, good stuff.